Um, okay, okay, okay. Good evening, all of you. Welcome to today's session. So this is ReadForte, where we have presenters coming and presenting books on daily basis at 7 o'clock in the evening, India time, and anyone can come and participate as a presenter. Can book present any book in any language. So that is how our community has grown. So welcome to this session. Today's session, I'm presenting this book, Tiny Experiments. So I will get started with this session today. So this book, I'll show you the book. Actually, this is the book. This is how it looks. Tiny Experiments. This book got recently published in March 2025, and I got introduced to this book through an YouTube influencer called Ali Abdal, who is also an author himself, has written a book called Feel Good Productivity, which we reviewed recently last year. So I follow his YouTube channel, and in one of his videos, this author, the author name is Anne-Claire. So she was participating in one of the his video interview, and she gave a brief introduction about this book, and I was really uh, interested in reading this book after seeing that video. It was very interesting and a lot of things with a different perspective. So that's what like made me buy this book and read this book. So let's get started. I'm very happy to present this book, uh, which is like a very new book. So, okay, a brief intro about the author, Anne Claire. So she's a neuroscientist, but if you look at her life, like how she became a neuroscientist, it's very interesting because she started her career as a software engineer in Google. So she had a very predefined path and ambition in life to study well, get graduated, and then go to a good company for a job. So that's how her life was going. She was very good at studies, and then she scored good marks. She went to good college. Then she went to Google. She worked in Google. But after that, she still though she attained that like state of success, which everyone thinks of, like working in Google is a very great thing, right? So even after reaching that state, she was not happy. She wanted to, she felt like she's missing something. So that's when she quit her job, and then she started a startup, small startup, but that was also not like a successful one. After that, she was little stuck. What am I doing? Like, I quit the job as well. Now, like, I'm also not. My startup is also not going well. Then she thought about it, like what uh, thing is like what is the thing that interests her, like brings her curiosity. So she thought about that, and then she was very much curious about knowing how the brain works and how our behavior is driven and all that. So she immediately decided to go and study neuroscience. So she joined King's College in London to study neuroscience. That's how she became like a neuroscientist. Even while while studying, doing the PhD program, she was doing everyday research and experiments, right? So she wanted to share it with public. So what she did is like she created a website, Nest Labs, and every research whatever she is doing in her studies, she was start putting it, writing about that and putting it as the post in this Nest Labs website. So that's how she was able to putting it publicly, getting review from the people, and then she was fine tuning all her research papers and everything. So that's how she became a neuroscientist. And after that, like that Nest Lab website became so popular, and lot of people became like subscribed to her page, and like started using it, and also like she got noticed by a lot of people. Even publishers reach out to her to request her, like if she wants to write this all these things as a book, and then she started writing this book, putting together all those knowledge she gathered while studying. So now let's talk about the book, like the topic itself what we are discussing. What is we are going to discuss today is about experimentation, right? So tiny experiments. So this book talks about like developing a experimental mindset, and then like committing ourselves to for being curious to know a lot of things. So why do we need to have a experimental mindset is because most of the time we all of us like might be afraid of failures, right? So if you do this thing, if it doesn't go well, then if it fails, like we always have this uncertainty which stops us from doing things. So having an experimental mindset will allow us to explore a lot of things without being afraid of the failures. So we are keeping an open mind without knowing what is going to be the outcome, but we are going to try the things and see how it is going to work out. So that is what about experimental mindset, and it is also like to focus mainly on the process instead of just like worrying about the outcome, what is going to be the outcome, whether it will be successful or not. So if you look at scientists, right, whoever does the scientific experiments, how do they start an experiment? So they have an hypothesis, they go and experiment it to see like what is that, like the result. So they don't fix it on any kind of result, they just observe the results what's happening. So that is what is about the mindset of having an experimental mindset towards the things. And another important thing why we need to learn this is there are a lot of transition phase or like a liminal space. So liminal space in the sense I can give you a good example that author has given here. When we are traveling in the flight, we are traveling from one place to another place in the flight. So during the travel in the flight, it's like a transition phase. Like we have not reached a destination, we are still traveling towards the destination. So that if you are traveling alone in a flight, maybe if it's a long flight like 16 hours or 10 hours, you are alone. Consider like if you are alone, just think of like how do we feel while we are traveling. So sometimes we feel afraid, like we feel little discomfort, like oh god, how long is this going to take? I need to go reach the destination. How long should I sit idle like this? We all have the discomfort feeling, right? So that is like you can just relate to that liminal space as this example of the traveling in the flight. This liminal space is what makes us feel uncomfortable. Even when we are trying to achieve a goal or something in our life, we are in the process of going towards that goal. So in that transition phase, we feel very uncomfortable, and our brain is like always like anxious about it. So to make ourselves calm in that liminal space, we need to have this experimental mindset. So that is also the another reason why we need to learn this. And other thing is like to do self discovery, to know more about ourselves, what we enjoy, or what all things do we have interest in. Sometimes you will we will don't even know like we like these things. So that's also lead will also lead us to the self discovery. So as I was talking about this liminal space, if you, I have just put a diagram here. So current state and state of desirable state which we want to reach, like a goal. In between state is called that liminal space, or the in between state. In this state we are uncertain, so we are doing some things, we don't know whether we will reach that target. but all we have in our mind is we want to reach that target. So that in that place our brain becomes uncomfortable. In When our brain becomes uncomfortable, we will respond to that in a three different ways. So if you see like three different ways is like, first is cynicism. Cynicism is like it's like being like skeptical, like say, what is going to happen if I do all this? I don't know whether I'm going to get this result or not. Then like we like get into that state, like making fun of people who are like doing something like that. We will get into a cynicism state, or we may go into the escapism state, like we want to do something, but we always avoid and just we have that uncomfortable feeling in our mind, and we divert it through binge watching something, or just keep thinking, okay, we'll do this, but we don't do anything. So that is like escapism. The third thing is about perfectionism. So we will be doing too many things, like, okay, I want to reach this goal, I want to reach this goal, I want to do this, I'll do this, I'll not take rest, I'll keep doing this. So, like that, we want to do everything perfect. We want to not even waste single minute. Like that, this uncomfortable state makes us behave in these three ways. So, what we can do is we can understand, if we understand this diagram, if you see high curiosity, low curiosity, left is the low ambition, right is the high ambition. So this is a diagram, and these are the three mindsets. So if we are highly curious, if we have a high curiosity and high ambition, then we will be in the experimental mindset. If we have like low ambition and high curiosity, we might go into escapist mindset. Or if we have low ambition and low curiosity, we'll go into cynicism mindset. And if we have low curiosity and we are too rigid, then we go to perfectionist mindset. So to balance this, we need to have like high curiosity and high ambition. So this will lead us to like from moving away from goal mindset and going into a experimental mindset, so that like we can just escape from the stagnation and just we'll get into movement. We'll from paralysis we get into exploration. From rigidity we go into fluidity. So from the feeling of like discomfort and fear in the uncertainty, we will still be calm and curious, and then like trying out things. We will be more focused on the process instead of focusing on the outcome. We will be more focused on the process, and we will get away from that linear progress to a surprising, like a surprising, what do you call, experimental growth loops. You will find growth loops where like few things can take you to a greater heights. So that is the main goal of getting into the experimental mindset. And to do that, like author has shared a lot of steps, so I will walk you through those steps. First step is to identify our cognitive scripts. So we all are driven by unconscious, subconscious, like cognitive scripts, and we might not be aware of what scripts we are being like driven by. If you see, there are like three scripts that author has discussed here: sequel script, crowd pleaser script, and script. Sequel script is like we have to follow certain path, like whatever we have been done in the past, like our next thing should be like should be in the same pattern, just to go with that same flow, like same process, not trying out anything new. Then the crowd pleaser script is nothing but like okay, this is what everyone does, like after school they do go to this course, they do this, and they go get into this career. So like that, there is a predefined path which is set by the people, so we will follow that. We'll just follow like this predefined path. And third one is the epic script. So this is where like people say like we have to follow our passion, we need to do the things that we love. So this also like ends up in a kind of a race where like if you see in the pleaser script, like we might end up in a race like, okay, I have to do this, I have to become this, I have to become successful. Like that, there is a predefined script. Same way in the epic script, people say we need to do the things we love, but still that is also like end up in focusing on the outcome instead of just rather like enjoying the things what we are doing and exploring throughout our journey. So in order to get out of this cognitive script, we need to first identify the script, and then we have to ask and then we need to see how we can get out of the scripts. For that we need to ask these three questions. So are we following the past, like whatever, are we following the same thing as we are doing in the past, or are we discovering our path? Or second question is, are we following the crowd, or are we discovering our tribe? Like for example, are we just not trying to find the tribe that, or the people whom you connect with more, with the set of interests that you have, rather than just following like the crowd, whatever they are doing blindly? So that is the question. So third question is, are you following your passion? Are you not just following what, doing what you love, but not giving any space to discover like your curiosity? Are you exploring the things and discovering your curiosity? What all the things you are curious about? So that these are the three questions in order to get out of that. And also for that she gives an exercise to do on a daily basis. So what we are going to do is like we are going to do a field work on our own lives. So we are going to become like an anthropologist who does who like observes the things. Like that we have to observe our own life by doing by being like an anthropologist and observing a day. You can take a work day or a some day from your life and start observing it. In order to observe it, like you can just note these points where like you can find out your instincts. uh, I'm sorry, not instincts, it's insights, like the moments of curiosity or new ideas that comes in your mind, or the question that sparks interest in you. So note that down, like note it down in your field work paper. So take a note or some field work notes and try to observe throughout one particular day or 24 hours, and take it and note down these things. Second thing is energy, like when your energy is going up, when your energy is going down, what all topics like suddenly when you are discussing some topics your energy will go up, or like you get excited. And also like physically, like throughout the day you might be energetic in one uh, one time frame within this mornings or evenings, or like within some time you'll be like very energetic. So those things you can keep noted down. See how your energy goes up and down, what drains your energy, what gives you more energy. And then mood, like note down your mood, like when you're feeling good. And not even just throughout the day, but also after few things happening. Like for example, you're going for a meeting, just write down how you felt, like what is your emotions after that meeting, or after workout how are you feeling. So those things you just note it down, like observing yourself. Then the fourth thing is about the encounter, so social interactions. So when you talk to someone, or like you get some insights from someone, how do you feel? So all those things you keep noting it down, and do like a field work. After that you put everything together like an observation. So whatever you have observed throughout your day, those are your observations. So put it in one column. Now after this what we are going to do is we are going to ask some questions, and we are going to come up with some hypothesis. So this is like an example which author has given, and I also modified it with my own like few personal examples. So first observation, the first column in the left, it talks about the observation. I am dreading giving presentations, in the sense like I'm feeling so scared or like anxious while giving presentation. That is the first observation. Then like I feel anxious in the morning, so that is the second observation. Then I get excited when talking about psychology. So this is my I have just modified it with my experience. I rarely have time to write. That is another observation. I enjoy making PowerPoint presentation, giving demo at work. So these are like observations which I have noted throughout the day. So next thing, coming to the questions, like when I'm saying I'm dreading giving presentations, the question comes is how can I become more confident? So now we'll just focus on the questions. So for each of these things. Second is feeling anxious. How can I feel more grounded before starting my work? Then the next one is how can I learn more about psychology? How can I make writing as part of my daily life? How can I do more PPT and demos? So these are the questions I will ask based on the observation, and I'll come up with an hypothesis. So I can take an improv class to build my confidence. I can do meditation to regulate my emotions before work. I can enroll for a psychology course to learn more about it. Then set aside time to write every day. Do more PPT like book review or like teach people using PowerPoint. So these are the hypotheses I'll come up with. After coming up with this hypothesis, then I will go ahead and try this like an experiment. So so like one second, I wanted to bring one slide. Okay. Okay, so let me go with the flow of the slides, and then so now we have come up with the hypothesis, right? So I'll let you know like how we will come up like frame the experiment. To give an example, let's just hear an inspiring story about Alexander Callaway. Okay, so Alexander Callaway, he basically he's a Russian, and he studied in Japan, Japanese university, and he did his business MBA in Canada. He settled in Canada. So like when he started his career in business, he was working in the digital marketing side, and also he was working with a lot of developers. So he had like a requirement to collaborate with the developers, but he did not have any background about development or any kind of code. So like it was also not like very like mandatory thing that he has to know coding or need to know like be a developer for that role. But out of his curiosity, what he did was he wanted to learn coding, and he wanted to become like a developer so that he can collaborate well with the developers at work. For that, what he did is he started a small study group where they will meet at coffee shop, and they will learn coding, they will do coding. So he took a like a public pledge. He will do coding for 100 days. So he also started like a challenge on the social media, 100 days of code challenge. And then this became like an accountability group, where like that group grow like a very big group. Slowly like a lot of developers started joining that group, and now it's like one of the largest developer group in Canada. There are like thousands of developers in that group who work together, who learn things together. So after that, like 100 days. So initially he just started it like a like an experiment of trying to do this thing consistently for 100 days, 100 days of coding. And it became like a very big group, and he also like became very famous You can find him online, and I've shared the website link here. So now I think he has his own group, and he has like a big group where like a lot of developers are there in his group. So that is something like a person who can make that kind of impact in a global way, bringing developers together and making a group and inspiring so many developers to become more good in developing, but also not only like inviting all the developers. He also brought a lot of people who were scared to become a developer and who became a developer after joining this group. So that's kind of impact he has made on the community. So that was an example of experimental, like how we can grow as a person. If we cannot even predict like how big we can become or how big impact we can make when we get into this kind of experimental mindset. So here the pact. So what a pact is nothing but like we are going to commit to take something, like put our hypothesis into an experiment or a pact in an actionable way. So now we have some observations and hypotheses based on our day-to-day life. Now we are going to create some actionable things and going to try an experiment. In order to do that, we have to create like a pact. A simple example of pact is 100 days of coding, which Alexander did. 100 days he will do coding consistently. So that is all was his goal. And for 100 days, for 1 hour, he was doing the coding and learning to do coding. So for like that, we can also do take up some pact for our own self. If you see like how to take up those pact, so this will give us a guidance. So our pact should be meaningful, of like trying to do something like which is exciting, or like we want to have we are in a learning journey or something. So it should have a purpose. Then next thing is it should be actionable. It should be like a reliable, like the action should be doable. It should be like a simple and doable action, and it should be continuous, like it we should take an pack like to do every day or every week or every week on weekends, something like that. And it should be trackable in the sense it is very simple whether we did the thing, yes or no, we were able to do it on this day or not. That's all we need to track. So it will make the process very simple. So, for example of a good practice, uh, use this particular format. I will do a particular action for a particular duration. For example, I will, instead of saying I will learn how to code, a good pact will be I will code every day for 100 days. That will that will be the pact that we can take. Another one is I will write a book. Instead of that, we should say I will write every weekday for next 6 months. I will run a marathon. Instead of that, we can say I will run every Sunday for next 6 months. Like this, the right side, whatever I've given. So we put it in this format. That will be a pact, which will be like very simple, repetitive, so that we will do it in a repetition, and then like we will see the like results, like surprising results after that. And let me. I was searching for one slide. Yeah. So this is the steps for designing the tiny experiments. So first step is to unlearning the cognitive script. Second step is to collect the data, observe our own life to collect data. And the third thing is to brainstorm and to come up with potential hypothesis to test. And the fourth step is to turn the hypothesis into pact, an actionable commitment that we are going to fulfill for a given time. So once we have come up with the pact, like we need to give commitment that we will do this action for this time consistently. And this overall goal like of doing all these steps. So what is going to change if we are going to change into, if we are going to adopt this experimental mindset from a linear mindset is, so from linear mindset we are going to instead of having like a predefined path, we are going to have an experimental mindset which might lead us to a growth path, growth loop, like this kind of thing. So if you compare it with the two things, in linear mindset and the experimental mindset, the difference between these things, if you look at the response to uncertainty, in the linear mindset we might feel very anxious, but in the experimental mindset, we are more in exploration mode and we are like more curious, we are more calm and grounded. Then, if you look at the mental models to follow, the linear mindset is like ladders of predictable outcomes. So I'll do this, like set path. Whereas in experimental mindset, these are like loops of unpredictable outcomes. Like Alexander, how he became he formed a big group of developers. He never thought about it. So that's the unpredictable outcomes that we might get in the experimental mindset. And definition of success will be, for linear mindset it will be outcome based, so predefined destination, and it's a fixed destination. But for the experimental mindset, it will be like output based in the sense, what output are we going to give, what effort like actions are we going to take. So it is purely focused on the action. And goal setting framework, so in the goal setting framework, if you see the traditional goal setting, smart goals, specific, measurable, assignable, realistic, timely. Here, like we have pact, where we are taking some pact with purposeful action, continuous, trackable, and after doing that, we but like we are into a growth path, like which does not have like a predefined outcomes. It might lead us to a very uh, greater growth than just like a fixed destination. So that is the comparison between the two. After that, there are also like chapter that talks about time, I mean, how to manage the time, how to have a sense of time, and how do we make use of our time in a very effective, like in a very good way. If you look at if you look at the general way how we look at time, we look at time with the lens of productivity. It's like, okay, if I have 16 hours, all the 16 hours I have to do something, what I did in these 16 hours. We always look as a unit of measurements, and we want to look it in the way of at the productivity lens. But we never take time to look at it with a lens of creativity, in the sense like we always in a rush. So there is a word called Torschluss panic. It's a German word. What that word means is we are always in a rush. We are always feeling like we don't have enough time to meet the goal, or we are always running in a rush to meet some deadlines. So we are always in that mode, and that's because we see the time with the lens of productivity. We don't see it with the lens of creativity. So we don't keep space for us ourselves to have some time to be more creative, more relaxed, and do the things little relaxed, rather than being anxious all the time. Okay, I have to complete this, I have to complete this. So we are always in that rush. That is uh, that is why we are not able to see the time in the lens of creativity. So we measure time in the units of units of measurements, rather than the quantity of time, rather than the quality of the time. So that is well explained in this concept called kairos. So if you see, there is a two way of looking at time: chronos and kairos. Chronos is looking at it in a qualitative way. If I have 6 hours, okay, 6 hours, 1 hours of time is there. So 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. So I look at it like a quantitative way. But kairos is another way to look at it, where we look at the quality of the time that we are spending. For example, in the 4 hours, 1 hour might be more quality for us than the 4 hours. That 1 hour, the quality of the time that makes that 1 hour more what do you say, more meaningful than the other times. So to explain this, like I can give you some example of Kairos moment is like when we are spending time with our loved ones, when we are when we are with ourselves, like when we are in nature, like the quality that we are enjoying the time to the fullest. That's like an example where this will like having this in our mind help us to create some kairos ritual so that we can create those quality time in our life. For example, playing with our kids, so that is like a kairos ritual because that time we are just taking away all the distraction and putting our focus entirely on the kids and playing with them. So that is like a quality time, and you will really enjoy that time. Next example is just like sitting with your cup of tea and having your cup of tea and just enjoying your cup of tea. That can also be a kairos ritual. And another example can be like walking in the nature, going out in the nature and just being there in the nature, enjoying the nature. So it takes away into like a uh, place where we enjoy our life fully. So that's the quality of time. Now we need to move away from the approaching time in a chronos time instead of looking at it in the kairos time, so that we will have a lot of kairos ritual and we will make a beautiful we'll spend our time in a very beautiful way and in a meaningful way. That is where that is where we will be able to see the time in the lens of curiosity and like admiration or like um, what do we say, like wonderment and all those things happens. So that's very interesting. I really like that topic. And apart from that, in the time management, the author also giving us another tip here to notice, to observe ourselves um, in three different ways. So one is observe ourselves. If you look at this table, physical, like managing our energy, looking at our energy throughout the day, and to observe ourselves, how energetic are we, what is our rhythm, natural rhythm, when are we more energetic, and all that. Second thing is cognitive resource, that is like how are we mentally loaded, like are we like to have, like are we mentally tired, are we fresh in our mind. And for that, like he she gives like a tips to do avoid multitasking and do like focus on things in a sequential way. Do one thing at a time, then you finish it off and then go to the next task, so that your cognitive, the mental energy or the mental resource that you have will not be like exhausted soon. And third thing is about the emotions, handling the emotions. Whenever like it's better to always be self-aware and observe ourselves and notice our emotions. When we are in a stress or in a stress response mode, we can like do some movement, get up and just move or do some kind of movements which will help us to get away from sympathetic nervous system to parasympathetic nervous system, which brings us to make us calmer. And for the physical energy thing, like aligning ourselves with energy, there is the concept of energy sinking, which she has explained here. Like to note down in your calendar, you can note down each of the task, when you're doing those tasks and how energetic you're feeling while doing each of those tasks. So you'll understand which task make gives you energy, which things are like taking out your energy. So you can do the things according to your energy level, shuffle the things and do it based on your energy level. So these are the three things you can keep it in your mind and observe yourself, and then you can manage your time in a better way. Next topic is about procrastination. It was about like why we procrastinate. And first thing when we think about procrastination, the just think about the emotions that we have. First, there is a Buddhist story called Second Arrow, which hurts more, right? So, first thing is procrastinating itself. It's kind of we think it's bad. The second thing is we feel guilty for procrastinating. That is like the second arrow which hurts. So it is like it resembles, it connects to the Buddhist story where like when an arrow hits a man, he feels the pain because of that arrow. The second pain that he feels is like why did this arrow hit me? Like the emotional response is the second pain that he feels. So same way, if you connect that story to procrastination, first thing is like procrastinating, whatever consequence it brings. Second thing is the guilt or the shame that we feel when we procrastinate. So for that, like the better, we should not like think procrastination in a very negative way. In if we want to know why we procrastinate, we need to become curious and stop like making it like very bad, something like that. So then only we'll be able to be curious and know why we are procrastinating it. Then let's go deeper and see why we are procrastinating. We want to like observe and see why we are procrastinating. It can be like three sources. Like there is a concept of head, heart, and hand. It's a concept which was related, like it was given by a researcher, but she has used that same concept here to relate it to procrastination, where head, if you take the source as head, then it might be because you might think that it is not appropriate for you. Or if the source is heart, it might not be like exciting for you to do that task. Or the source might be hand, in the sense it is very difficult, or you're not able to do it, like the thing what you're trying to do is very hard, and it's not doable right now. So these are the three things. When we identify the source of the procrastination, then it's easy to come up with a solution to handle it. Like if the head is the source, then we can redefine the strategy, whether we have to do this if it's not appropriate, whether we have to do this, or we can find another approach or take up another task, and you will get a closure of this. Second thing is heart. If it is not exciting, then we can think how, why is it not exciting, like how we can change the experience of doing the thing. So that will help us to stop procrastinating. Third thing is hand, to make it doable. For example, from my personal life, I will give you, like when I was studying AWS newly, the cloud technology, when I was starting to study, it was very hard for me to understand because of working in a traditional systems throughout my career. This all was like a new, totally new concept, and it was very difficult for me to understand. So it was all about like the hands, how it is so difficult to do. So in this thing, like luckily I got a friend called Monisha. I don't know if she has joined today, but yeah, she is one of my friends who we discuss together and we study the topics. So after that, like it became like more doable and it became like easier with that kind of okay, making it simple, explaining each other, and also we were doing it together, so it was much easier like that. Now we have another friend Ashwini who also joined our study group. So like this, maybe our study group might expand. Like this, we have friends who help who are helping me to make the things easier for me, to help me to motivate do the things. Like that, you can also think of the situation where the task is very difficult to do. You can request for support, get some training, take some help from people. That will help you to get out of that procrastination when it is like a difficult task. So these were like very useful perspective about procrastination and useful tips about how to handle procrastination. And finally, this was the another thing which was also very interesting: metacognition. While we can use this template for you to do this exercise, and I also given you a link where you can go and explore this topic in her blog post. So plus, minus, next. So this is like in a day you will just jot down the points, like whatever positive things happen, whatever negative things, or like the things that you don't like that happen, and then you will also fill next steps what you are going to do. This is like very similar to that what went well, what can I improve, like something like we do as part of retrospection in our work as well. So this will help us to put in become more aware of what we are doing. Metacognition is nothing but noticing, observing ourselves and observing our day and trying to fine tune the things where we are struggling. So this is an interesting example, and I think this link will give you some tips on how to do that exercise. Can you can explore that. The last topic, which was very interesting, was about generativity. So I think a lot of you might know about psychoanalyst analyst Eric Erikson, who came up with this stages of development in human being. In that, like he talks about generativity. So generativity is an ability to transcend our personal interest and the things that we know, the skills that we have, to provide care and concern to the younger generation and also the older generation. So basically, it is about making a positive impact on the people around us in a positive way to make some positive impact in their own lives. So that is called generativity. So this is we have to move away from the concept of leaving a legacy and and move towards becoming more generative. That means like leaving a legacy is that's a common saying we say, right? When we go, like we leave things as a legacy to the people. So instead of that approach, she is giving a different approach of while we are living, we have to be in a generative um, way, giving a lot of giving a service or doing something which will create impact to the people around us. So for that, there are a lot of ways that we can do. If you take example of work, for example, instead of just doing our regular work, maybe in IT, if you think of instead of doing our only regular work, we can do some. I can do some POC on some topic, come up with some ideas, and show we can implement these things and creating a value to the business. So it will instead of just doing the regular task, I can also spend some time in doing something, trying to do some research, exploring things, coming up with and trying out like a POC and then like suggesting it as an idea to implement. So these are like tips for work. And for other things like developing lateral skills and knowledge across different disciplines. So like we can develop skills in different areas, not only our own core area where we are working. That will help us to help people around us. We can become a coach, we can mentor people, we can coach people with whatever skills we have. We can do coaching the younger people who are struggling with the things that we struggled in the past. So those are some ideas. So all you need to ask yourself is one question: how can I use my skill and experience to make a positive impact in the people around me? If you ask this question, you will come up with your own unique ideas to become more generative in your life. So that will make you more happy and fulfilled in your life. So that's a very interesting topic, generativity. So that's a thing like which we can take away and try to implement in our daily life. So finally, to summarize everything from the starting, so first we need to commit ourselves to curiosity, be more curious, try to get into an experimental mindset. Then about productivity, like being more mindful, having all those looking at time in a very qualitative way, and practice the things that we learn to avoid procrastination and be more productive in a mindful way. um, Collaborating with uncertainty, like how to like handle our discomfort during uncertain situations. So those things also we can implement. Then growing with the world, like you can always like grow with the people around you, or like you can put yourselves in the public, and then you can write something, get feedback, bring a community together and grow along with the people who are around you. Just like an example of ReadForte, like we come here together and we discuss topics, we learn from each other. Like that, there are a lot of other opportunities or ways we can do to grow along with the world and take like make a positive impact in all the people around us. So that's the summary of this whole book review. Thank you so much for listening patiently, and I will open the forum for discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Fantastic, Chitra madam.
Thank you, sir.
Are
Thank
you
you,
able
sir.
to listen me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm
Okay,
able to hear
fantastic.
you. Yeah.
Yes, now you're hearing now.
Yes,
Very
sir.
fantastic,
So
madam.
you start, sir, and whoever wants to give feedback, they can raise their hands. So, sir, you
Okay,
start
yes,
with your
yes.
feedback. Thank you, sir.
I'll start with.
Yes.
Very fantastic, madam. I have taken about 10 to 15, 12 pages notes.
Wow.
It is
Thank you so much,
almost
sir.
like I read the book in 1 hour. No,
Wow.
you have covered all the items. No, it's very, very fantastic. The time management, Kronos, Kairos, about procrastination, metacognition, generativity, and work culture,
Thank you, sir.
linear
Thank
and
you.
experimental mindset, linear and experimental mindset, with suitable examples, the accountability. When we join a group, we will become accountable. This is actually it happens. Every people's success, no, those people who have got a very high success, you can find all these qualities. All these qualities you can find in many people. So some examples I see, in cine field, somebody who comes as a writer or who comes as just screen mover. Now they become a director or they become this thing because of this experimental mind. When they do something, they cannot get success for a long time. But suddenly, all these points, they change themselves. They join along the group. then they become director or they become very good actors and all that. I see in every field it happens. All these points are given. The most important act for me is that procrastination. That I have to find out the head, heart, and hand, which I am at low. I have to improve that one. Now, in IAS studies also, people say if you go on reading, no, you cannot get success. In IAS also, it's very tough examination. But when you make a group, the people will, you have to brainstorm, then only you can get to. Uh, Most of the things here we say that no, we have to get the energy from the people. No, we have to know our this thing, experiment, observe, experiment ourselves, and also you have to form the group. Then only we can get success. That idea success we can achieve. Very good thing. I thought of I would have I have not attended this one. No, I would have lost me whole week. Like that I feel. Very fantastic presentation, madam. Keep on growing. You are actually you are psychoanalytic also. You are covered psychoanalytics of Eric Erikson. That also you have covered. A very fantastic presentation, madam. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, sir. Thank
Those
you
who
very much.
want to please raise your hand and give your feedback.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing and encouraging me. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Okay. I will call Vivekanandan, sir. Yeah, please go, sir.
Yeah, madam. Hello, Chitra, madam. How are you?
I'm
So,
fine, sir.
excellent
How are you?
session. So,
Thank you,
yeah,
sir.
madam. Actually, last session also very impressive, and actually, I start following the taking notes in the digital mode. Actually, I used to read ebooks a lot, but simultaneously, I have to start working on. I mean, to-do list and all we used to write, but nowadays I improved a lot. But especially today's session is I have small query. I mean, I have small doubt in that. So procrastination. So you said the procrastination. How to handle the procrastination? Can you please explain on procrastination once again?
Yes, yes, sir. So for the like when we are procrastinating, we need to identify from where that procrastinating is coming from. What is the source of that procrastination? Whether it is head, heart, or hand. Head in the sense unconsciously we are believing that this is not appropriate for us, so we are not taking that effort of, like we are keep on procrastinating. Or it might be that the task is like very uncomfortable, or like we are feeling, we are not feeling excited about doing that, so the emotions are stopping us from that. Maybe it can be like a fear also, like I'm not good at this, how will I like my emotion might stop me, like thinking how do I'm not very good at this, whether I will do this, like that fear will come and keep on making us procrastinate. Or hand in the sense, the example of that, if it is too difficult, like we don't know where to start. Whenever I start the task, like I'm not able to make any progress, I'm not able to understand anything, something like that. Is the hand is nothing but the task itself is too complex, or we are not able to make progress in that. So if we know that source, whether it is from our head or heart or the hand, then we can address that easily. So that's the uh, tip the author has shared about procrastination.
Yeah. Great, ma'am. Great insights. So thanks a lot. So many takeaways today. So I will start following on the points. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, Malika ma'am, you can talk, ma'am.
Uh, Thank you, Chitra, for giving all these points. All are important. At the same time, each points are very, 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 very important for our life. That is whether it is in career or homemaking or living our retired life, whatever it is. Each points are applicable in all aspects of our life. So, what I think is each points require expanded explanation. So you can take 2 or 3 sessions for this. Even same subject, you can start with each subject with the expanded explanation, because that is
Correct.
very much required, because as I told, all points are very much required for all aspects of our life. So that is my request from my side. From that, thank you, Ganeshan sir, for giving there is added value to this presentation, because you also have covered whichever the area is being, because we could able to recall, because when one point is discussed, next immediately I've gone for the next point. That is important, because you want to cover all the areas of the book. You want to give the more gist of that book to us. That's why you couldn't able to stop in one point and continue to other. So the summarization by Ganeshan sir, it was very useful for us. And the question asked by our Mahendran sir, right? Oh, no, it's not Mahendran sir. Just previous.
Vivekanandan sir.
Yeah, Vivekanandan sir, because he's coming in Andi's this one, I couldn't able to recall his name. And that question also very important, because about procrastination, because that question gives us more expansion about the topic. That is a procrastination topic. Gives more this one. That is explanation. So for that also, thank you, sir. I request another session or another 2 sessions to expand the each points, so that it will be very useful for us. Can
Thank
we
you,
please?
ma'am. Thank you so much. That Eric Erickson psychology of the development, human development itself is a separate topic. Like that, each topic itself can be expanded, like you said, into different topics. Time management also.
Yes,
So
very,
yes, ma'am.
very.
Thank
Yes,
you
yes.
very much for
Yeah,
your
which can be again you can, because these are all very important for our life
correct,
in all
correct.
aspects. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Thank you so much for bringing this topic, and please proceed another other 2 sessions also. Okay. Thank you.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Nice to hear you. Okay. Yeah, Shivakani, ma'am. Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Today's session was very qualitative time அப்படின்னு தான் சொல்லணும். This 1 hour makes me a best session அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். It was very useful and fantastic. Sir already told. He narrated once again. So lot of points and the kairosis ஆகட்டும், chronosis. So everything was very good, ma'am. Your voice is also very clarity இருந்தது. So at the same time, on the PowerPoint presentation also very clear. What அதாவது what is the thing needed? You mentioned and highlighted very well. Super, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Anyone else wants to talk? Rekha, ma'am. FD யாரோ இருக்காங்க. FD யாருன்னு தெரியல. ஓகே. ஓகே. தேங்க்யூ
Hello.
தேங்க்யூ நிதிதி. ரேகா மேம் யா
Hello.
சொல்லுங்க.
Sorry, Chitra.
ம்
Actually, I couldn't listen fully because yeah, some guests were coming. So anyhow,
ஓகே.
lot of insights was there. An excellent session. Yours. I thought no, I don't want to miss it actually, but I joined and I couldn't follow everything. But still, it was very interesting. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
தேங்க்யூ மேம். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். Thank you for joining and listening in, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I think FD அது யாருன்னு தெரியல. Anyone wants to talk? And yeah, Malika ma'am, thanks to sir also. I think he's also listening. Thanks for joining. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think everyone shared their feedback. Thank you very much for joining, and yeah, we'll meet again in another interesting book. Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.